Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We'll give everybody another couple of seconds to come on in. Well, I don't know. Oh, I didn't ask anybody to light candles. Shabbat Shalom again. Arthur, if you would, the next slide. This coming week is Veterans Day. I changed that to 2025. I remember doing it. I remember doing it. I hope there's nothing else left here that I goofed up. I actually remember doing it, so this is kind of embarrassing. Oh, dear Lord. I hope this is the right service. That's all I can say. All right, well, whatever. There's words in here and music, so, we'll just sing whatever the heck shows up. Because I really did do that, unless I have lost what is left of my marbles. Anyway, we do want to acknowledge both 2 years ago and today those who have served and thank everybody for their service. Usually we have some people here who have served, and I don't know if there are tonight. Steve is here. Anybody else? Well, we usually have a nice contingency, but I guess they're all out being honored as veterans. All right, so we're going to continue now with the next slide. Thank you. What the heck is going on? A Rubachim? Okay, somebody sabotaged my service. Okay, I'll read it correctly. Welcome, Bruchim Aba'im, Shabbat Shalom. As humanistic Jews, we honor the spirit of our people's devotion to Shabbat. It is a weekly moment to affirm who we are and what connects us. It is our time to pause and recognize the value of our Jewish identity and the meaning it brings to our lives. Whether we choose to work or to rest, whether we spend the day alone with family or in community, Shabbat invites us to set time apart, to celebrate our Jewishness, and to renew our sense of belonging to one another and to our shared story. I'd like to invite Rabbi Miriam Jairus and her granddaughter, Maya Shalom. In case, and if that name sounds familiar to you, it means peace. It's also the name of a certain rabbi in our movement and his wonderful family. Maya.
Baruch haor ba'olam.
Baruch haor ba'adam. Baruch haor ba'shalom. Ba'shalom. Baruch haor. Baruch haor ba'shabbat. If you don't recognize Maya Shalom, you certainly know who Rabbi Adam Shalom is. There you go. Now you have put all the pieces together. Yes, indeed. And Allison's too. Our readers tonight are Jerry Weinberg, Howard Himmelho, Yossi Ben-Gal, Dorit Ben-Gal, Ruth Kadish, And I'd like to invite Jerry to join us on the bima for the first reading.
Shabbat Shalom. When we meet each other on Shabbat, we think of Shalom, peace. It's right there in the greeting. Shabbat has always been a symbol of peace. Our ancestors called it a taste of the world to come. The peace that they sought to create on Shabbat teased them with hopes that such calm might one day prevail throughout the world. It's true. Perhaps it was just a fantasy, but it gave them comfort nonetheless. Today, we understand that if we desire such a world, it must come through our own work. Perhaps Shabbat can remind us of that. Shabbat Shalom. May we all enjoy a Sabbath of peace.
Shalom Aleichem, Mohavei Shalom, Shomerei Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Ronavei Shalom, Shalom Aleichem. Boachem b'Shalom, Mohavei Shalom, Zeichem l'Shalom. Miyom zeh yamim habayim, Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Mohavei Shalom, Shomerei Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Rodavei Shalom, Shalom Aleichem.
The psalmist wrote, "Live with integrity, do what is right, and speak the truth without deceit.
Have no slander upon your tongue. Do no evil to others, and do not mistreat your neighbor.
Spurn a contemptible person, but honor those who live with respect.
Endeavor to keep a promise once made, even though it may be difficult for you.
Do not use money or power to abuse others.
Make these deeds your own, and you will set an example throughout your days."
Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Haolam Kayam. Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Haolam Kayam. Al Haemet ve'al Hadin ve'al Shalom HaShalom. Al Haemet ve'al Hadin ve'al Shalom HaShalom. Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Haolam Kayam. Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Haolam Kayam.
So said the ancient Jewish philosopher Kohelet. I applied my mind to know and search out, to seek understanding and an explanation of things. I thought to find words of delight and what is correctly written. I thought words of truth. Understanding is a greater stronghold to the wise than 10 rulers that are in a city. Blessed are those who seek words of truth. Out of the universe, source of our lives, we develop the power of mind and its quest for life's meaning. Yet knowledge is not received as a gift. We must search it to attain understanding.
נפתח לנו שערי צדק, כן, בחסד ברחמים. נפתח לנו שערי צדק, כן, בחסד ברחמים. אלה שערים לשלום, נפתח לנו ונבוא בם. אלה שערים לשלום, נפתח לנו ונבוא בם. נפתח לנו שערי צדק, כן, בחסד ברחמים. נפתח לנו שערי צדק, כן, בחסד ברחמים.
Let us strive to lead loving, compassionate lives with our hearts, with our wisdom, and with our actions. Let these be the ideas that we inscribe in our innermost heart. May we practice them day and night, teaching them diligently to our children through our words and especially through our deeds, so that coming generations shall learn to revere and celebrate life.
Where is my light? My light is in me. Where is my hope? My hope is in me. Where is my strength? My strength is in me. And in you, and in you. Where is my strength? My strength is in me. And in you, and in you.
In the pursuit of a just world, may we hold fast to the ideals that give life its deepest meaning. Among these are the courage to hope, even when hope is scarce, to dream of peace, even when surrounded by uncertainty. Though the path to peace may be long, let us never lose sight of it. May we remember that peace is not only the absence of struggle, but the fullness of life that blossoms from justice, security, and compassion. Wherever there are struggles to achieve such a peace, let wisdom always guide actions. May we be vessels of peace, always carrying it in our hearts and minds, even when we seek to protect what we hold dear. And may the world we leave behind be one that reflects our highest ideals: freedom, understanding, and enduring harmony among all people.
Nase shalom ba'olam, nase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol ha'olam ve'imiru shalom. Nase shalom ba'olam, shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol ha'olam ve'imiru shalom, shalom. Nase shalom ba'olam, nase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol ha'olam ve'imiru shalom. Nase shalom ba'olam, shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol ha'olam ve'imiru shalom, shalom.
In this community where we find strength and common purpose, we turn our minds and hearts toward all those who need our love and support. Those who are ill, those who suffer pain of the body or spirit, those who are lonely, and those who have been wronged. Tonight, our well wishes are extended to these members of our community, to Lee Bricker, to Saul Foreman, and to Jim Walker, together with anyone whom you'd like to share tonight. We'll start with Jerry, yes?
Evelyn Kojima.
Okay. Melanie?
Linda Ashley.
Miriam?
Joe Goldberg.
Esther?
Linda Mike Beamer. Allison Sherhart. Maureen McDonald.
Howard? Yes.
Linda Buffa.
Anybody that we missed? Yes. Karen.
Neil Simon.
Anybody else at all? May all who suffer know that they are not alone, that we are there. May they be healed quickly. May they experience a complete recovery, refuah shlema, the renewal of their bodies and the renewal of their spirits.
Mekom ha'koach betocheinu, mekorot ha'bracha michavrotenu. May the source of strength that dwells so deep within us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Shalom. Mekom ha'koach betocheinu, mekorot ha'bracha michavrotenu. May those in need of healing know refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Shalom.
We can shed only tears that they are now gone, or we can smile because they once lived. We can close our eyes and pray they will return, or we can open our eyes and see all that they left to us. Our hearts can be empty because they are no longer here, or we can fill them with the love that we shared. We can turn our backs on tomorrow, living only yesterday, or we can anticipate tomorrow because of yesterday. When they come to mind, we can remember only that they are gone, or we can take comfort in memory, where our love for them still abides. We can cry and close our minds and in our sorrow turn away from life, or we can do what they would want by opening our hearts, loving, smiling, and carrying on. Our thoughts turn to those who are no longer with us, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every people and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We recall now our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and all of those whom we have taken into our hearts with our own. You'll turn the slide, please. This week, we observed the 30th yahrzeit, the 30th anniversary of the assassination of this great man. He was a leader, a soldier, a peacemaker, who served Israel with courage and vision, dedicating his life to the defense of his people and to the pursuit of peace. On this yahrzeit, let us honor his enduring legacy and reaffirm our commitment to the ideals by which he lived and for which he died: security, justice, and peace. His memory is indeed a true blessing. Together with the late Prime Minister, there are many whom we honor tonight in our hearts, these members of our community and their loved ones whose yahrzeits we observe this week. Lauren Byrne, Pearl Broida, Karen Kerval, Sophie Ellenbogen, Lou Freeman, Aaron Goff, Helen Hussed, Goldie Kramer, Sanford Morris, May Rossman, Judy Schlesinger, Helen Skrinsky, Freda Stillwater, Julian Unger, Ilse Weinberg, Alan Wilsey, and Julian Ziegler. And if there are names you'd like to mention tonight.
Robert Rose.
Thank you. Marion?
Robert Horowitz.
Anybody else? Yes, Alan.
Lawrence Gale.
Did we miss anyone? We say, Yehi zichram livracha. May their memories bless us. May they also provide us with a sense of comfort. And if you can do so comfortably, please rise as together we honor them and we honor life with our humanistic interpretation of Kaddish. Nitkadal v'nitkadash beruach ha'adam. Let us dignify and ennoble all people in the spirit of our shared humanity. Let us acclaim the preciousness of life. Let us show gratitude for life by approaching it with reverence. Let us embrace the whole world even as we wrestle with its parts. Let us each in our own way take up our share in serving the world and seeking truth. May our commitment to life help us to strengthen healing of spirit and peace of mind. May justice and peace permeate and comfort the house of Israel and all those who dwell on earth. And let us say, Ken Yehi, may it be so. Please be seated. Well, I am always grateful to my friend Melanie for all the things she does to help me when I'm gone and the many things and contributions she's done for the congregation. And I very much wanted her to talk about her trip to Poland, but I'm really appreciative that you did it this week when I was still recovering from my daughter's wedding. And I thank you so much. I don't think thank you. I don't think we have to have a lot of other introduction except to say that I am so happy that she agreed to talk about this wonderful topic tonight. So please join me in welcoming our friend, our fellow congregant, Melanie.
So I was glad to have the opportunity and glad that Jeff asked me to do this because it forced me to go through my pictures and to make notes and to reflect on this trip that actually I just came back from a month ago. Today, it was October 7th that trip ended. Because I can, so as I was telling Jeff in an email, it's been, 3 to 8, 7 months. It took me to go through my daughter's wedding photos because she had thousands of them, and so this was good. Why Poland? Well, It's always been on my bucket list because it's my maternal motherland. The maternal side of my family is the Catholic side of my family, and Poland is still a very Catholic country. However, what I learned is that any tour of Poland, even one that is not billed as a Jewish-focused tour, cannot help but be a Jewish-focused tour. There's a long and storied Jewish history intertwined with Poland's history. Poland's history begins in the year 960. So anyways, this is my grandmother and my grandfather, Papa and Nana, Stephanie and Nicholas Konzak. So that's the Polish side. You can do next, and I don't know what's coming up. Okay, so we'll start there. So Poland's history starts in the year 966. As early as the years 1264, Bolesław V granted Jews the Kalisz privilege, which provided personal freedom, some legal autonomy, and safeguards against forcible baptism. A century later, this privilege would extend throughout the kingdom. By 17th century, Poland was the Polish-Lithuanian state. It was multi-ethnic with Poles, Lithuanians, Germans, Jews, Tatars, Armenians, and Scots. It was also multi-faith, Roman Catholic, Protestants, Eastern Orthodox, Jews, and Muslims. Some were living under their own laws, like the Jewish population. In fact, despite resentments due to these privileges, Poland had become home of one of the largest Jewish population in Christendom. So, our 10-day tour. Let's see. The places are not marked. Anyways, the blue on the top, that's the Baltic Sea. And then on the bottom, on the Slovakian border, that's where the Tatra Mountains are. So we started in the middle in Warsaw, and we traveled north all the way to the Baltic Sea, to Gdańsk, and then down, which is not there, somewhere just west of Łódź is where Wrocław is. And then we went down to the Zakopane Mountains, to Zakopane in the Tatra Mountains, and then up to Kraków, and then ended up back in Warsaw. So we made that loop. But this map is here to show you that all the stress that Poland was under in 1939 to 45. They had Germans, the Nazis coming in from the west, Soviets coming in from the east, and they were stuck in the middle. So we'll tell a little more of the story as we go. Next. There's going to be a lot of next. There's about 40 slides here, so some of them will go very fast. This is just a little view of Old Town Warsaw. There's not very much to Old Town Warsaw. It all had to be rebuilt because Warsaw really was decimated in World War II. Next. And so this is what downtown Warsaw looks like now. It's being really rebuilt. There's skyscrapers, there's a lot of steel, a lot of glass, and honestly, I don't remember a lot about Warsaw because it was the first stop on the trip and my head was still in the clouds, and it was the weekend of the marathon, so there were a lot of places we couldn't go because so many streets were closed. So, but anyways, next. All right, so, but I knew that one thing that I wanted to do on this trip was go to the Jewish-Polish Museum. Thanks to Dorit and Yossi, I saw the documentary called Raise the Roof, which told the story of a group of college students who, under the tutelage of their professor, aimed to build a wooden synagogue, all of the originals of which had been destroyed during the wars. They found pictures, and they opted to use only the tools and the methods that were available at the time. So this was like 1700s, that when the originals would have been built. So in the end, they were not able to reconstruct the whole synagogue, but a dome. So these are just you can go next. Just some pictures, stills from that documentary. Next, next, next. This is what they built. So the museum itself tells not just, it tells the whole story of the history of the Jews in Poland, starting from the 1100s, 1200s. And so this is the dome that they built, and then the bema. And it's just, it was amazing when you walk through the museum, and it's the whole, the museum itself was a Finnish architect who designed it. So it's really spectacular in itself, in its modern kind of Scandinavian feel. And then you walk through the halls, and then you get to this. Next. Just some detail. So they were very specific. They had people, calligraphers and artists that didn't even know the Hebrew alphabet, but they were artists. So they were the ones who were doing the lettering. And next. He did hold a diplomatic post for a short time. And then at the height of the destruction of Polish Jewry in October 1942, he was ordered to clandestinely go to the West and deliver a report on the situation of occupied Poland to the Polish government, which was in exile in London. The situation of the Jews in Poland was to be one section of that report. Since the government in exile was concerned with the internal politics of Poland's underground parties, Karski held meetings with the different factions, including the Jewish Zionist and the Jewish Socialist Bund movements. And shortly before his departure, he met with two Jewish leaders who asked him to inform the world's statesmen of the desperate plight of Polish Jewry and of the hopelessness of their situation. Their message was, our entire people will be destroyed. The Jewish leader's appeals touched him, and he decided to see things with his own eyes. So with great risk to his life, he was smuggled into the Warsaw Ghetto and into a camp in the Lublin area. The horrors he witnessed marked him deeply and propelled him to become not only the messenger of the Polish underground, but to concentrate on giving voice to the suffering of the dying Jews. So he did reach London in 1942 in November and delivered the report and set out to meet Winston Churchill and other politicians. Upon completing his mission, he came to the United States, and he met with President Roosevelt and other dignitaries. And he did write, his book is called Story of a Secret State, and that became a very seminal publication for people to learn about what was happening and what happened. He then became a professor. He earned his PhD from Georgetown and was a professor there. And he died in Washington, D.C. in July 2000. So he remained the rest of his life here. Next. And every, the city tour guide, our tour director, everybody knows his name and was talking about the brilliance of what he did and the bravery of what he did. This is a statue marking the Warsaw Uprising, the 63-day military effort by Polish resistance against Nazi Germany that began on August 1st, 1944. Ultimately, Polish fighters achieved success in the beginning and then ultimately failed due to the lack of Soviet assistance and the German counterattacks. So that resulted in the death of an estimated 16,000 resistance fighters and 150 to 200,000 Polish civilians. So this is a big memorial. Next. And just a detail of that. Next. So after our whirlwind tour of Warsaw, we head up to the Baltic Sea, and it was gorgeous. And this is the beach where you can find amber, although we didn't go on the beach. It was very cold, so it was unseasonably cold when we were touring around, barely reaching 50 degrees some days. And, here it was windy. So Gdańsk, one of the few cities that was not destroyed during World War II. There was also Torun and Kraków, which we traveled to also. The attack on Westerplatte, which is here in this area. On 1st of September 1939 marked the outbreak of the Second World War. Next. This is a guardhouse that still stands with the bullet holes from the war. Next. This is a barracks that still stands, and our city guide here, Agnieszka, she said, yes, when they were children, they would go play in there, but now they've they've cordoned it off because it's not safe. But next. And this is a monument to the defenders of the coast. Next. And this is the grave of the soldiers. And they are still finding remnants of soldiers and doing DNA testing and returning them to their family. But this says military virtue on it, and there's just like blank graves surrounding it, like you see in the back there. Next. And then Gdańsk is home to the Solidarity Museum, which was really amazing. Everybody walked out of there just jaws dropped from hearing the story and seeing the pictures. And the Solidarity movement was led by Lech Wałęsa and the dock workers, and this is what would bring an end to communism in Poland. Solidarity was the Polish trade union that in the early 80s became the first independent labor union in a country belonging to the Soviet bloc. So just think about it. This is the Soviet bloc, this is communism, and these dock workers created the union despite. Solidarity was founded in September 1980. It was forcibly suppressed by the Polish government in December 81, but reemerged in 1989 to become the first opposition movement to participate in free elections in a Soviet bloc nation since the 1940s. So Poland, even during Soviet rule, Poland remained a country of Catholic churchgoers. This would come into play during this time of solidarity. Pope John Paul II would speak a number of times. He would speak in the churches, and the priests would incorporate messages of the solidarity movement into their services. In this way, the population stayed in the know of what was happening, and in this way, votes were gained so that the solidarity movement would win the election. And in 1990, Lech Wałęsa would become president of a free Poland. Next. Just another image from the museum, the lockers from the dock workers. And next. And Lech Wałęsa here. Right? Yeah. Next. This is a quick stop in Torun. This is the birthplace of, maybe, they're not sure quite exactly where Copernicus was born, which building, but he was born in Torun, maybe in this building. Next. And Torun has Leaning Tower. Next. And as all the cities that we would travel through, they all have the Vistula, or the Wisła River, flowing through it. Next. All right, so now we're in Wrocław. There are 600 gnomes scattered throughout the town. Kids and adults alike have fun tracking them down. I sure did. Next, there's a few. Next. Next. Yeah. Next. And this is just the town square. Wrocław is a beautiful city. During World War II, Hitler claimed it as a fortress called Breslau. 80 to 90% of it was destroyed during the war, but after the war, it was returned to Poland and its name Wrocław. Next, and here we are in Zakopane. the mountains in the background. Zakopane, being on the southern border, became an important location during World War II. There was an underground, not railroad, passage of sorts where Poles were escaping to Hungary. They would have to go through Slovakia, and even though Hungary was officially allied with Germany, the brotherhood between the two countries was stronger than the German. And Hungary allowed a path to where the resistance could escape and make their way to allied countries and continue their resistance from there. Many of them who escaped were couriers carrying important messages about what was happening in Poland to the resistance that was abroad. Zakopane is a center of artists and writers. It's also a very interesting thing. So our tour director, she's an independent contractor, and everybody in Poland who's working pays. So she pays $600 a month, $500 a month, maybe, the equivalent of that. And that's for health care for her and her family and her retirement. And it's called the Social Security. And health care is all covered, including up to 3 weeks at a spa or retreat every year. So if you have asthma or some other kind of breathing condition, they might send you to the mountains where you get to stay on a retreat for 3 weeks out of the year. It's pretty amazing. So next, this is a cemetery, and this cemetery is so fascinating just because it's magical. The artistry, so this is like typical Zakopane mountain Highlander construction, and this was the end of September, so they were already kind of getting ready for All Saints' Day. But what happens in the fall when school starts, there's a high school for the arts in Zakopane, and the students will each adopt a grave. And they have a month and a half to work on it and to decorate it and, just have a display for All Saints' Day, which is November 1st. So next, there's some more. It was just beautiful. Next. And then in the evening, this was lemon vodka by a bonfire. So we went and enjoyed some Highlander hospitality. And next. And had dinner after we roasted our sausages on the bonfire, and vegetarian sausages for the vegetarians. And then we went inside and had a full, 3-course, 4-course meal, and we were entertained. And I had a video I wanted to play, but we couldn't figure that out. So, but you just have to know that you can see the way they're playing the instruments and the instrumentation, and it's just such a unique sound, a unique style of music. Not the polkas you think of when you think of Polish music, for sure. Next. And then we're on to Kraków. This is one of the cities, I think if I go back to Poland, I would like to spend some more time in Gdańsk up on the Baltic Sea, and then I would spend more time in Kraków. It's just such a beautiful city. It's the home of the Wawel Castle. There's so many legends attached to everything in the city. This is Wawel Castle. Next. They have pagan obelisks in the middle of the street in the little parks. Next. And of course, the beautiful church. The artistry, anyway, next, it was amazing. And the dragon, the fire-breathing dragon, which is part of the legends of there's all kinds of stories about the dragon. Next. And then we went to the salt mines, Yes, Bielichki salt mines, and they have, so, they're heroes. And one person I didn't mention was, was Marie Curie. So when I was like 6 years old, I think, my mom and grandma sent me to Polish school where I was the only one there who didn't live in a house where they spoke Polish. And they were amazed that, I could read the words and all that. But one of the people we learned about was Marie Curie. I remember that. Then, so the points of pride. So Pope John Paul, Nikolai Copernic. Next. And then you can see on the left, it's in the salt mine, carved out, this cathedral. They actually have weddings there. They have big events. So from here you go to another room there where there's a reception room. It was amazing. And then just another cutout place that was, anyway. So you're down in the salt mines. It's still an active salt mine. Where did I put that? It's still an active salt mine, even though it's a UNESCO Heritage Tourist Site right now. But yeah, next. All right, and then this is the memorial to the Jews lost. This is in Krakow, in a place that used to be the ghetto. And empty chairs, very symbolic and somber. And on the building in the back there, you can see it says 1941 to 1943. Next. This apothecary, Apteka, that was a place, we were told, where people could go, Jews who wanted to hide the fact that they were Jews would go to get fake birth certificates there to change their identity. And anyway, next. And this is Auschwitz towards the end. And next. And then we go from Auschwitz to Our Lady of Czestochowa to the Black Madonna. And next. And then we end our tour with another dose of Polish hospitality. I love the fact that he used that megaphone instead of anything else to speak. And we enjoyed a delicious meal and said farewell to our new friends. And I'm sure there was vodka, because there was always vodka. And that's all. Thank you.
I left my book up there. If the city of Bratslav maybe also has some other resonance, does anybody know of a very famous, very, very famous Jewish personage from Bratslav? Reb Nachman of Bratslav, by any chance? One of the leading lights of Hasidism. This was a big center of the Lithuanian, the northern branches of Hasidism, although Hasidism was much more of a southern phenomenon. Anyway, thank you for bringing it. And I love the mix and to see how the different streams of history still come together, even though, as we know, there are very few, if any, Jews left there. 20,000. So. Yeah, it was, of course, one of the greatest Jewish populations in the history of our people. But it was wonderful. Thank you so much. Just a few reminders. If you have not yet marked your calendar for December 12th, then what are you having even a calendar for? Because that is the night of Super Supper, when we are inundated by wonderful soups, but you must bring them, and delicious breads, but you must bake them, or I suppose you could buy them, and great desserts and all kinds of things. That all goes to helping a variety of things. The NOAA project is one of the big ones, but we are also concentrating on other kinds of help for people who are in need of food assistance. It's 6 to 8. 6 o'clock it starts, right? So 6 o'clock on the 12th of December. It's also, by the way, our community's Hanukkah celebration. And even though it's just a few days before Hanukkah, we'll celebrate it then together. And then we'll have one more Shabbat service where I'll be talking about the Maccabees and what that story is really about. And then we're going to take a couple weeks off because I'll be traveling and many of you are traveling too. So that's one thing to remember. I don't know if there were other things to remember. Next week, we are going to have a, what is next week? Next week? No, next week is not the movie. Next week is a bat mitzvah. Next week is a bat mitzvah. Now look, I know a lot of our regulars don't come on a bat mitzvah, but a lot of you do too. And we don't get them so often on a Friday night, even though I really try to get it on a Friday night. You know, the way the parties are structured, people do it on Saturdays. Lainey Medier is my 13th year here, right? My first baby that I am going to participate in her bat mitzvah. She's my first one that I knew as an infant and all the way up to now. So I hope that you'll join us for Lainey's bat mitzvah next week. It's always a wonderful occasion. And the Mediers have been amazing members of our congregation. Both the parents teach in our program. She's the last of the Medier children to celebrate their bat mitzvah or bar mitzvah. So please do, if you don't have other plans on Shabbat, please make an effort to come. Same bat time, same bat station or bot station. See what I did there. And then the following week is a movie. We actually showed it here many years ago, but I've been teaching the American Jewish Experience history class, and we're getting into the Old West, and it just seemed a great opportunity. I've been promising it to my class for 6-7 months now. We're going to see the movie, one of my favorites, The Frisco Kid. And this time a little bit different. I'm going to give a little bit of a talk beforehand about the history of Jews in the Old West. The old American frontier. So come for I think it's at 6:30, check the newsletter, and we'll have, popcorn and all kinds of garbage here to eat. And that's Friday night, the 21st. And then will be Thanksgiving, and we're not meeting that weekend. So some of you were here, but not many, when I debuted this, but I know you all read my commentary every week. Raise your hand if you don't, so I can shame you. Shame. I wrote about it, so if you want to read it, there's a link on the website about how I came to write 16 years after I was first requested to do so, an Adon Olam, an interpretation. Adon Olam means master of the universe or master of the world, and that obviously does not refer to anybody other than God in the traditional, but in our case, when we get to the last verse, it'll be a translation, a poetic translation of the Hebrew that I wrote. The other thing about Adon Olam is that it can be sung to almost any tune. We're not going to do it tonight to any tune. We're just going to use the traditional one. But that includes, well, let's say it was the 4th of July, back when I used to go to traditional shul. It would be Adon Olam Asher Malak B'Terem Kol Yitzir. And when it was someone's birthday, it would be Adon Olam Asher Malak B'Terem Kol Yitzir Nivra. And as it happens, tonight we're celebrating a birthday. My husband Arthur is celebrating his on Sunday, so I sponsored the oneg for him. And y'all can come and have some chocolate cake. All right.
That's Polish.
Oh. The only birthday, I'll teach you a birthday song that my good friend Susan Linder is a wonderful composer. You've heard some of her Jewish music. She wrote this birthday song, and I invite you all to use it on your relatives. It goes like this. This is the birthday song. It isn't very long. Adon Olam.
Introduction.
Jews are going to sing what they're going to sing, okay?
This is the piano solo. Here we go.
Adon Olam Hoshir Adam Ohev Chaim V'ha'olam Kolo Ole B'shir Shalom Uva'adam Nimtza Chalom Before
and life's design. We seek our meaning, yours and mine. No hand unseen directs our way, yet purpose grows with each new day. Through heart and thought, through joy and pain, we shape the good that will remain. Adonolam, that song are we. Our world steered by humanity. A life of life, stir songs of peace. Within our souls as dreams in Greece. Adonolam, Ushiratam, Erchaim ve'haolam, Kolo ole, B'shir shalom, Uva'adam, Nimtzach halom. Thank you to Joseph for the music, David for the streaming, Arthur for the slides, and Melanie. Shabbat shalom, everybody.